competent, and ethical will help to produce qualified students. Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science of Universitas Advent Indonesia focuses on how to become professional teachers to create educators who can provide a comfortable learning environment for the students, effective and applicable teaching method by utilizing understandable and innovative learning methods and other supporting educational processes to produce excellent graduates and community members who are qualified to compete both nationally and internationally. The Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science offers 2 study programs, English Education and Mathematics Education, that are accredited by the BANPT.
In English Language Education Study Program, students will be prepared to teach not only national schools, but also international schools or bilingual schools that apply English language in the teaching and learning process. English education focuses on learning to listen, speak, read, and write, as well as using English in various contexts, such as communication in business areas, presentation, article writing, grammar, and even drama performance. In Mathematics Education Study Program, where the curriculum is based on the KKNI, or Indonesia National Qualification Framework, include courses on basic mathematical theory such as algebra, geometry, statistics, calculus, discrete mathematics, and basic principle education, learning strategies, evaluation of learning, curriculum development, and learning psychology as a provision of pedagogic abilities, as well as religious knowledge for the development of student teachers' characters.
Through excellent courses in practice and theory by utilizing technology and prepare with teaching practices, both micro and macro, as well as lectures from within and outside the country, as educators who are competent, dedicated, and have been called to serve God. Based on these things, you will be enabled to become educators who are not only competent but also have noble character to serve up-to-date learning programs that can help students in the field of future work. In addition to being an educator, this faculty has various job prospects. Among others, in English education, you can also become successful as receptionist, translator, interpreter, tour guide, diplomat, and other profession. While in mathematics education, you can also work in education office, become a bank employee, and actuary, and various other jobs. To all prospective students who are still confused about what college to decide and are interested in teaching and education, come and join us at Universitas Advent Indonesia. Together we will build the nation's next generation.
Access granted.
Hello and welcome to Candid and Open, the podcast that exposes different topics that are related to social life, governmental policies, and many more. Candid and Open is created as a project for our public speaking class. So here, in this Candid and Open podcast, you will notice projects with varied topics. And the important things also knowledge about our life that we are going through right now. And find out more about us and our personal thoughts in this podcast. Hope you enjoy the show.
Access granted.
Hello and welcome to the podcast that exposes different topics that are related to social life, governmental policies, and many more. Candid and Open is created as a project for our public speaking class. So here, in this Candid and Open podcast, you will notice projects with varied topics. And the important things also knowledge about our life that we are going through right now. And find out more about us and our personal thoughts in this podcast. Hope you enjoy the show.
Access granted.
Hello and welcome to Candid and Open, the podcast that exposes different topics that are related to social life, governmental policies, and many more. Candid and Open is created as a project for our public speaking class. So here, in this Candid and Open podcast, you will notice projects with varied topics. And the important things also knowledge about our life that we are going through right now. And find out more about us and our personal thoughts in this podcast. Hope you enjoy the show.
Teacher denotes an important point in the world of education. Teachers who are professional, competent, and ethical will help to produce qualified students. Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science of Universitas Advent Indonesia focuses on how to become professional teachers to create educators who can provide a comfortable learning environment for the students, effective and applicable teaching method by utilizing understandable and innovative learning methods and other supporting educational processes to produce excellent graduates and community members who are qualified to compete both nationally and internationally. The Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science offers two study programs, English Education and Mathematics Education, that are accredited by the BANPT.
In English Language Education Study Program, students will be prepared to teach not only national schools, but also international schools or bilingual schools that apply English language in the teaching and learning process. English education focuses on learning to listen, speak, read, and write, as well as using English in various contexts, such as communication in business areas, presentation, article writing, grammar, and even drama performance. In Mathematics Education Study Program, where the curriculum is based on the KKNI, or Indonesia National Qualification Framework, include courses on basic mathematical theory such as algebra, geometry, statistics, calculus, discrete mathematics, and basic principle education, learning strategies, evaluation of learning, curriculum development, and learning psychology as a provision of pedagogic abilities, as well as religious knowledge for the development of student teachers' characters.
Through excellent courses in practice and theory by utilizing technology and prepare with teaching practices, both micro and macro, as well as lectures from within and outside the country, as educators who are competent, dedicated, and have been called to serve God. Based on these things, you will be enabled to become educators who are not only competent but also have noble character to serve up-to-date learning programs that can help students in the field of future work. In addition to being an educator, this faculty has various job prospects. Among others, in English education, you can also become successful as receptionist, translator, interpreter, tour guide, diplomat, and other profession. While in mathematics education, you can also work in education office, become a bank employee, and actuary, and various other jobs. To all prospective students who are still confused about what college to decide and are interested in teaching and education, come and join us at Universitas Advent Indonesia. Together we will build the nation's next generation.
Teacher denotes an important point in the world of education. Teachers who are professional, competent, and ethical will help to produce qualified students. Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science of Universitas Advent Indonesia focuses on how to become professional teachers to create educators who can provide a comfortable learning environment for the students, effective and applicable teaching method by utilizing understandable and innovative learning methods and other supporting educational processes to produce excellent graduates and community members who are qualified to compete both nationally and internationally. The Faculty of Teachers Training and Educational Science offers two study programs, English Education and Mathematics Education, that are accredited by the BANPP.
In English Language Education Study Program, students will be prepared to teach not only national schools, but also international schools or bilingual schools that apply English language in the teaching and learning process. English education focuses on learning to listen, speak, read, and write, as well as using English in various contexts, such as communication in business areas, presentation, article writing, grammar, and even drama performance. In Mathematics Education Study Program, where the curriculum is based on the KKNI, or Indonesia National Qualification Framework, include courses on basic mathematical theory such as algebra, geometry, statistics, calculus, discrete mathematics, and basic principle education, learning strategies, evaluation of learning, curriculum development, and learning psychology as a provision of pedagogic abilities, as well as religious knowledge for the development of student teachers' characters.
Through excellent courses in practice and theory by utilizing technology and prepare with teaching practices, both micro and macro, as well as lectures from within and outside the country, as educators who are competent, dedicated, and have been called to serve God. Based on these things, you will be enabled to become educators who are not only competent but also have noble character to serve up-to-date learning programs that can help students in the field of future work. In addition to being an educator, this faculty has various job prospects. Among others, in English education, you can also become successful as receptionist, translator, interpreter, tour guide, diplomat, and other professions. While in mathematics education, you can also work in education office, become a bank employee, and actuary, and various other jobs. To all prospective students who are still confused about what college to decide and are interested in teaching and education, come and join us at Universitas Advent Indonesia. Together we will build the nation's next generation.
Welcome to our seminar. I am Hannah.
And I am Deborah.
Welcome to the Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Education, Ms. Marlene Marpaung,
Honorable to all the lecturers who attend this seminar,
the respected team leader for this seminar, Emily Muntu,
and the Honorable seminar speaker, Mrs. Navita Putri Rudiani,
and all the audience that were present in this seminar. Once again, we say thank you.
To open our seminar on public speaking, we like to invite Marisa Manulang to lead us in prayer.
Okay, let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you that you promised to be with us always. Thank you that your presence is with us right now. Today we give you our hearts, our minds, and our life. Please come speak your words of life into our beings. We pray that you would deepen our comprehension, broaden our thinking, and transform our understanding of that we are about to hear and study here. For you are our wise counselor, our perfect speaker and teacher, and our faithful friend. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Now, we will sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, following Unai Hymne.
bagi nusa bangsa dan Tuhan, jayalah selamanya.
At this time, we will hear the greeting speech that will be delivered by our first lecturer, Ma'am Deborah Simanjuntak, and the team leader for this seminar, Emily Muntu.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning to all of you. Is my voice clear enough? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me continue. Once again, good morning to all of you, respected dean, students, lecturers, and our keynote speaker. I'm pleased and grateful to welcome all of you to our public speaking webinar. And a very special welcome to our keynote speaker, Ms. Novita Putri Rudiani. I hope I don't mispronounce your name. And thank you for accepting our invitation to share invaluable insights on how to explore our communication skills through public speaking. We do appreciate that you blocked this date for us, and I believe that you have achieved outstanding experience on international communication, and I'm very sure that you're going to enlighten all these young people to become good public speakers in the near future. And to the committee of this event, I would like to thank you for organizing this webinar for the benefit of college students in preparing their future career in the near future. And I'm surely grateful for your efforts. And for those who have attended this seminar, I hope you enjoy the event, and I hope you find pleasure in seeking knowledge on today's event. So once again, enjoy this webinar, and I hope everyone will be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And now we will hear by Emily Muntu.
Sorry, Odia, can you unmute?
Okay. A blessed morning to everyone. Our honored Dean of Education, Ma'am Marlene Marpau, our beloved course lecturer, Ma'am Deborah Simanjuntak, our beloved education departmental lecturers that are present today, and all the students from Universitas Advent Indonesia and all students from other university. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a special day because English Education Class Batch 21 has a program to conduct a seminar entitled Explore Your Communication Skills Through Public Speaking. This seminar is very important and has significant implications for everyone and for the future of everyone. We will explore more about communication skills in the public speaking. We extend our thank you to Ms. Novita Putri Rudiani for accepting our invitation to be the speaker in this program, and we feel honored to welcome you to this special moment. And I would like to extend my gratitude to our course lecturer, Ma'am Deborah, for encouraging us to conduct a seminar like we have today. Thank you, Ma'am Deborah, for the support, suggestion, and guidance for this program.
And I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. I welcome you all once again to the seminar and hope you will have a great time ahead. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Before we come to our main event, I would like to introduce our speaker today. Her name is Ibu Novita Putri Rudiani, born on 13 September 1994. She attended the University of Groningen, the Netherlands in 2017. Success with degree of Master International Relations and International Organization, and from 2018 until 2023, she is studying a programming lecture in Hubungan Internasional Pertamina.
Wow, it's a certain that this seminar will provide good lesson for all of us. So without further ado, let's invite our speaker, Ibu Novita Putri Rudian.
Thank you, Miss Hannah and Miss Deborah. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me in this very beautiful day. Well, actually, this is an honor and also a pleasure for me to be joining here with you to share. Actually, this is not something that I should, giving lecture, right? It's kind of I'm sharing something that I have already learned before, so I need to share to you all so we can learn together in this event. And also greeting from Jakarta, because I'm staying here in Jakarta nowadays, and I hope the weather in Bandung is really nice, so I actually would like to visit Bandung sometimes. Okay, so today's, can I share the screen? Oh yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, wait a minute. Well, actually, I prepared some slides here to guide our conversation for today's event. And well, actually, wait a minute. Okay. And I need to give it by the share screen. Okay. Oops. Okay, so this is actually my slide, and as you can see here, I'm not by myself when preparing this slide. So I was supervised by Miss Fitri Andayani. Actually, she's my mentor in Pertamina University, but unfortunately, she couldn't make it to join this event today due to another occasions. And I discussed a lot about what I should I should tell you this morning about the preparation for a speech. Actually, I'm not an expert yet in public speaking, but I have several experiences to prepare a speech. As you know, in my major, especially international relations, you have to speak, right? You have to tell what is your mind, what have you done in your analysis, and to make people understand about what is going on in this global situations. So this situation, this condition make me to learn and also adapt with the situation, so I can tell everyone what is going on in global politics recently. So basically, my basic of public speaking is not for the audiences, even though I several times conduct as a speaker or as a moderator for a seminar or also some workshop, but actually my specialty, my focus on public speaking is to, mapping what is going on in global politics, and also build an analysis to tell, especially people in Pertamina, regarding the energy issue. That's a very specific area, I guess. So I would like to thank Ms. Fitri Andayani, who also, helped me to prepare this slide. Hopefully, this will be a valuable information for you guys in this morning. And wait a minute. Okay, so this is my I should say this is my introduction. Yeah, Miss Hannah and also Miss Deborah have already said about it. So actually, I graduated from Master of Arts in International Relations and International Organization in University of Groningen in the Netherlands. It's very long time ago. And I also finished my bachelor degree from International Relations, Universitas Airlangga in Surabaya. And as I said before, I several times am invited as a speaker and also as a moderator in several forums on energy-related issue, because my background is actually about the energy. So I kind of like, bridging the social science and also the technological science in Pertamina University, and also for the Pertamina Persero. It's kind of the public speaking in our in my job is actually linking what is very social science side to the people who are focused on technological science. And also I'm a lifetime negotiator and also a policy analyst. In this case, recently for 2 years, I need to praise the role. I am conducted several, international forums. The last time is the iconic in Bali. And also as a negotiator, recently I was appointed by Ms. Nike Widiawati, the CEO of PT Pertamina Persero, as the negotiator for Task Force Energy, Sustainable and Climate Change for the Business 20. Last time under the Indonesian presidency in G20, and this year under the India presidency for G20. So it has been 2 years for me to involve directly in the negotiating process in what's so-called international relations. So as I said before, my specialty is more kind of the negotiate and something like that. But I try to make it general in my explanation about public speaking itself. So please, Miss Hannah and Miss Deborah, you can cut me off when my time to explain is, over, right? Because I'm sometimes when talking, I'm a bit, loss of time. Okay, so our agenda today will be introduction to public speaking. The second one is dealing with speech anxiety. And the last one is how to solve this kind of speech anxiety, how you can prepare and practice, because this is the main idea of public speaking, right? So basically, it's not only about the public speaking, it's all the stuff that you are going to do in your daily activities, and also any single details that you want to do every day, you have to prepare and practice, right? So public speaking is one of the activities that you should prepare, because it's related to lots of people out there, right? And this one, maybe I'm not sure if I will help you to give valuable information, but I think I can share some information or some tips maybe that you can apply when you are trying to improve your public speaking skills, right? So I believe that lots of you know these films. Maybe you have already watched it, or maybe you have already discussed it with your college and also with your friends, and you can take some learn about what is happening in these films, right? So the very famous film is The King's Speech. So this is about the if I'm not mistaken, it's the Prince Albert who has to, replace his brother when he is actually having a very serious problem with his speaking. And you know that in this film, Prince Albert tried to adapt the situation because he is the face of the country. He is the I don't know, everyone respect him. So it is impossible for him to avoid the public, right? So he has to do the speech by himself. And that's why he hired a therapist from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And he practiced a lot. He, in this film, you can see and how to articulate your sentence and how you can try to get the sympathy from lots of audience, right? And also in this, the Great Debaters, actually, this is a very fascinating and also interesting movie if you want to discuss, right? It is about how minorities try to change the majority's situation, where actually the Black people try to, I don't know, in this debate group, I think they have to face or against the people, white people from Harvard University. And, if you watch this film, lots of preparation they're doing, and also they try to make any, what's so-called the storytelling. This is a very important thing that maybe I can share with you later in the preparations. So actually, when you are not so, not part of the majority group, you have to build what's so-called, how I say, it's not only sympathy, but also support from the audiences, that your idea is, okay, your idea might be different, but it is related to our society nowadays, something like that. And also, I have this Larry Crown film. It's the actor were Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts. Is actually the Navy who changed the job after he retired. He's retired. He went to a company. I forgot what is the company name, but it's actually related to the finance, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a very different job, right? Being a Navy, you have to obey the order, and also you need to speak as short as possible, so it can be delivered to your subordinate quickly, and so on and so forth. But in this kind of company, the Larry Crown, as the main character here, has to persuade, has to influence people, he has to making people feel trust and believe him. And this is actually not very easy for him, because the shifting, right? So in this case, he decided to join a university and continue his education. And in the university, he met with a public speaking lecturer, and from their discussion, he learned something. So from this three film, we have different situation. The King's Speech, he has the speaking problems, which actually it's related to some mental illness. The Great Debaters is it's actually about the minority versus the majority. The Larry Corner is about the shifting profession, like you. Maybe some of you have already experienced it, when you have to do something that is very different from your daily activities. And the last one is my favorite, actually. This is the story of Jerry Seinfeld as the comedian. You know that recently the stand-up comedy is very popular among us, lots of people, and joining the Suci, right, stand-up comedy Indonesia. And I would just wonder how maybe like the comedian Bintang Emon, or also Kiki Saputri, or the most famous one is Raditya Dika, how he can build the story. It's actually a very complex story, but we can still get the message, right? And it's in comedy, so the responsibility of them as the comedians, they have lots of things to do. The first one is they have to connect every story to be interesting to the audience, and the second one, they have to make sure that it is funny without without any sarcasm. No, it's sometimes they're being sarcasm, but I mean here without hurting some people out there. So I strongly suggest that you watch this kind of film, because if you talk about public speaking, each film has their own perspective and also points of view, and they share tips how to conduct the situation, and people can still reach you and understand what you're saying. This is very important. So maybe if you want to have another movie discussion, some of this film can be one option, right? Okay, so I will start with the introduction of public speaking. So, speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to comfort, and to compel. Our founding fathers, Insinyur Soekarno, Bung Karno, maybe. Bung Karno is a very influential person. With him, he can influence lots of people. I still remember how the debate between students when they decided to follow Bung Karno or follow Tan Malaka. Yeah, I read several historical books about them, and I still remember the line when the students, actually not the students, maybe colleagues, I say, the colleagues of the colleagues of Bung Karno is very wide, and also they're very loyal to Bung Karno. At some points, there was someone called Tan Malaka try to talk with them. Why you adore Bung Karno so much? Why are you being loyal to him? And what is the way he's thinking is sometimes against the theoretical and so on and so forth. But in this case, what I remember from the colleagues of Bung Karno is like this. Tan Malaka, you know that you are a strong philosopher. You are a strong philosopher. But you cannot influence us. You always think about what the nation should be, but you never say to us how we can do it. Different from Bung Karno tried to persuade us to, to make us trust him, believe him, that we can do it together. So if you can just influence like 100 of people, or maybe 1/4 of Bung Karno's colleague, I will follow you. So from the lines, I can say that the speech is power. If you hear or if you try to listen Bung Karno's speech, it's very, full of energy and spirit, and you will be raising your nationalism. That's why our nation can be established until now. So this is the importance of speaking or public speaking skills. I'm not saying that Bung Karno is just, what so-called NATO, right? No action talk only. No, he is very smart. He is very prepared. And the important thing is he can influence someone or some people to follow him, building his ideas to build a nation. That's a very great achievement of his lifetime, I believe. So if you want to influence people, make sure that you have the knowledge first. I will talk about it later, but public speaking is not something that you can only talk, but you have the basic argument, you have the basic knowledge, and you have the purpose to influence people. That's the very important thing. In this case, public speaking is a way of communicating ideas. That what I say, maybe some people, some philosophers are lost from the most influential official public, I don't know how to say, but at some points, maybe we are in academics and also some of them in practical areas such as the policymakers or also the officials in our governmental office. Some of us may think that the official of the governmental office, they're not so clever, but actually sometimes it's wrong because some of them are very high education. They have lots of experience to study, and also they have experience to directly see what is happening in our society. That's why he can speak in front of the public. So it's about the communicating ideas. Different from the academics. Academics, it's lots like more like a philosopher. They can write, they can, publish journal, but how they can influence people, that's the matter. Right? So public speaking is a way of communicating ideas, information to live audiences. And there is a presentation carries the speaker personality better and allows immediate interaction between all the participants. So basically in public speaking, I'm not trying to have a one direction discussion. No, it is very important to have two directions because there is an interaction. There might be exchange of points of view, and you will get something, you will learn something from this kind of discussion, right? So this also reminds me, if you want to ask, please just raise your hand or put the comment in the chat and I will try to address it, okay? So this is why public speaking is important and why I say it needs preparation and also practice every day. And the last one, not the last one. I'm talking about the types of public speaking events. Lots of forums are conducted recently, especially in the post-COVID era. Lots of people are trying to have general lectures, seminar, conferences, virtual events like this, award ceremony, special occasion, and so on and so forth. And also in every public speaking, in every event, there must be a opening speech or maybe the keynote speech from the respected dean or maybe rector and so on and so forth. In this case, as the person who are involved in this kind of events, you cannot avoid to speak in front of the public, right? So some of you may have several notes, some of you may have practice, but the important thing is actually what the event is. Why classifying this kind of event is important for us. It is related to knowing your audiences. For example, in seminar, there's lots of seminar from the formal to informal ones, right? So know your audiences. Are they the adults? Are they the teenager, or are they students, and so on and so forth? It's related to how you can communicate your ideas in public speaking skills. The second one is actually conferences. Usually conferences is related to the academic progress. Lots of academics and also scholars join the conference for their publications, and it's related to how you can communicate what your research is and what's the result of your research to convince the audience that your research is matter for the knowledge development. So it's a matter of how you can conduct every single lines in your communication perfectly to address what have you done in your research. And also virtual research like this. Actually, this is there is some barriers for us in virtual events. However, we can still, conduct it like a seminar, right? You know the audience, how many the audience is, and how maybe you can classify it, who are they, what kind of issue that is being discussed in these virtual events. And also award ceremony. Maybe in some of us have already know that award ceremony needs the grateful speech, if I'm not mistaken. So when you got this trophy, you have to thank to all of the people. And it's also when you don't prepare something to speak in front of the public, you will get confused. Who are you going to address in the award ceremony, and so on and so forth. And also any special occasions. For example, maybe it's very related to our personal activities such as wedding, or also your friend's birthday, when some people want ask you to say or to tell some of kesan dan pesan, right? So it's not polite if you just bluntly say what you want to say. No, there is a special issue that you need to address. For example, when in your friend's wedding, you cannot say how bad he was or how bad she was in the past, in her past, right? So you have to make everyone feel touched and also being happy and cheered on her or his wedding day. So this is very important to you to classify what you should say or what you should not say. But actually, it's not only the public speaking. It's in our daily conversation. We need to know what is polite, what is what we should say or what we should not say, and something like that. Okay, so after we know what public speaking is and what occasion that need the public speaking skills, I want to address the problem of public speaking. It's dealing with speech anxiety. People's number one fear is public speaking, and the number two is death. Number two is death. So it means that people are more fear with public speaking. Why? Because sometimes when I talk with my mentor, Miss Fitria, she said that there is sometimes when we are in front of the public and we get ashamed of something that we never expected before, which we tend to remember it for a long time, because the feel of being judged in front of lots of people, it's influence our daily activities after that. So people are trying to avoiding public speaking. For example, it's not when you are standing in front of lots of people on a stage, but in a very small example, such as your proposal for bachelor thesis, or in Pertamina we say thesis defense. Lots of people, lots of students are terrified. Well, actually, I was confused at that time. Why are you being so fear about defense your thesis? You do this research for maybe for 1 year full. You are doing the thesis research. You know what you're writing. It's something that you prepare for a long time. Why is it very hard for you to just defend your thesis? It's something that you make yourself. And my students answered like this. Well, actually, I'm not very sure about what I wrote in my thesis, because at some points I feel I got lost in my research, and also I don't have much time to prepare. Or the worst case, actually, once they have said to me like this, well, actually, ma'am, I don't know what I wrote, actually. So lots of this is the what I discussed with my supervisors. And when my supervisor said this, I try to write it in my thesis. So I don't know how to be responsible of what I wrote in my thesis. So this is, once again, the matters of preparation and practice. So instead of choosing to advance your thesis, they are very terrified back of the stage. In this case, fifth anxiety, also called the glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. Whether you have your mental illness problems, or it's a kind of you're unusual with the situation, it will influence, or it will affect the way you speak in front of lots of people. It is one of the common fears and form of social phobia. And I don't want to relate this actually with the extrovert or introvert, but actually this is the matter of how you can practice. Well, if you want to know, actually, guys, I used to be a very, well, actually, I'm an ambivert, right? So sometimes I tend to be the introvert one, and sometimes I tend to be the extrovert one. But in this case, I cannot stand when my introvert side is coming out, and I have to speak in front of lots of people. I have to deal with it, right? So in this case, the fear of public speaking, I need to solve it immediately. So I do lots of practice. That's why I have my mentor, Miss Fitria, to as a partner of to practice. This is very important to you, to look maybe your best friend, to be your supporters, and to evaluate how you speak in front of the people, but not by judgment, right? This is a very constructive evaluation for your improvement next time. So actually, this kind of phobia, if you really, really want to fight for it, if you really, really want to solve it, you can overcome this kind of anxiety. And it is normal to have a little stress, or you are panicked sometimes. I do it sometimes, or I feel it. For example, when I have to explain about the global energy politics, the newest one, recently there is a war between Russia and Ukraine, and it impacts the oil prices and also gas prices. And I have to tell the Pertamina board of directors, officials, what is going on in the global energy politics and how Pertamina should deal with it. The ones, or the people, or the audiences that I am facing is not a student. They're an expert. They're experts. They have experiences for maybe more than 20 years in oil and gas industries. And as you can see, I'm just a bachelor, and I'm just graduated from the university several years ago. But in this case, I have to overcome my fears. So I will tell you how I can defend myself, or maybe when I don't know something, how I can answer it diplomatically, right? So, and in this case, you have to know, and you have to understand that you have this kind of problem. Because if you try to, get rid of it, or if you don't want to understand what is going on with you every time you want to speak in front of the public, you will not learn something. You will not overcome your anxiety. So this is a very important to know and to understand what is going on with you, starting to analyze what the symptoms are, such as nausea, when you feel want to throw up, and it's come off your panic, dry mouth, sleep loss, headache. It happens to me every time I have the meeting with the Pertamina board of directors, because it's really hard to make them understand what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. And actually, this morning, I have to prepare everything. I mean, like I discussed with Miss Fitria for a long time. I prepared this slide, which one I should say, which one I should not say, and like what I said before. And I have to do preparation, even though since I was in undergraduate school until now, I always do what's so-called public speaking. And maybe I also learned to how to improve my public speaking skills. But I need to make sure I still have this kind of symptoms, especially when I don't know how to say when there is maybe when my introvert side is coming out. I have to deal with this kind of symptoms. So know yourself is better to understand the situation so you can overcome it immediately. And how or where is the anxiety coming from? It's actually not a matter that, oh, I have this kind of illness, I have panic attack, I have anxiety and so on and so forth. The important thing is how you can overcome it. Especially when you are appointed as a leader, you cannot avoid what's so-called public speaking, right? You have to practice no matter what. So actually, knowing what is the root cause of your anxiety is very important. It can be coming within yourself because you are afraid of ostracism. Ostracism means that you used to be someone who left behind, and also you cannot you have the trouble or problems to engage the people for the second time, or maybe the standing out, criticism. You are fear of being criticized. You are fear of being some people that make you as a joke and so on and so forth. Being an outcast, being different, and making mistakes. The last one is very, very some things that is usually come when the anxiety is coming, right? I also in this occasion, especially, Miss Fitria told me that I have to deliver the presentation in English. Even though I live in the Netherlands for a very for my master's degree, I used to speak English since I was middle school until now. I still have fear of making mistakes. What about what if I say something wrong about the grammar, about the tenses? What if I say something or maybe I forgot what the English is? How can I adapt with that? This is a very usual event. But at the end, I have to realize that lots of my anxiety can be overcome by practice, right? People make mistakes, so I don't have to be very perfect to deliver my presentation to my audience. The thing is what I can deliver and how I can make people understand of what I am saying. So mistake, people every day, every of us make mistakes. As long as it is not intentionally, I think they will not so focus on your mistake, right? So this is something that you need to realize and consider. It has to be overcome soon. And also other major triggers besides maybe, lots of people sometimes are invited to a forum, or maybe he or she is asked to speak in front of lots of people. There is the tendency of lack of preparations. That's why it's panic, right? It's when you're panicked, you don't know what you have to say. Like I said before, in the thesis defense, at some points, some students have already prepared lots of things, putting sticky notes in every pages of your thesis, and also highlighting every line that is important, but they still feel not enough of preparations, especially when the panelists ask something, right? It's actually on your thesis, but when you're panicking, you cannot answer it very clearly or very well. That is the problem also. And also concern about the appearance. That's why when I say the types of public speaking events, you have to know, it is a work occasion, is this a seminar, or is this conferences? Because when I say about there is an occasion that is formal and informal, you can adjust your appearance, whether you have to wear a very formal suit, or maybe you can go as a wearing smart casual clothes, or and so on and so forth. So concern about appearance is does matters, right? Especially when you're women, at some points you have to concern about how your hair looks and how your makeup is, and so on and so forth. But actually, this is the same. We cannot differentiate it from the gender. Concern about appearance is important for everyone, especially when you are facing lots of people, right? Because at some points, maybe you are representing your company, you are representing your groups. For instance, the dean, the lecturers, the students, or the head of students committee. In this case, you cannot just go like without any makeup, or maybe you don't dress very well. It will impact to your corporate or image, company image, right? So it is very important for you to choose very carefully about your look. I don't say here that you have to be very fashionable, no, but you have to wear a proper and appropriate suitcase. Not suitcase, it's very formal, clothes on you. So you have to classify whether it is a very formal that you have to wear suits, or it is just a smart casual occasion. The third one is projection about lacks of audience interest. This is what I say, know your audience very well. A stand-up comedians, like I said before, they don't have any idea who will attend their stage. But in this case, they have to figure out which kind of comedy, which kind of issue that can be delivered to all of the people without differentiating any age or groups, or maybe people from another social backgrounds, and so on and so forth. In this case, when you are knowing your occasion, for example, it is a seminar for students, is it the meetings with the board of directors, when your knowledge, or when your assumption about the audience is lack, you will get the anxiety. So know your audience very well. The last one is lack of previous experience speaking in public. That's why I said before, sometimes we have to practice. Thanks Lord, you have to praise the Lord if you have the given characters that you are very easy to speak in front of the people. But sometimes there are some people who doesn't have that kind of ability, so they have to practice. In this case, when you are appointed, or you are you are appointed to conduct maybe as a speaker, or maybe as a moderator, or maybe as the representative of your company and also your team to present, do it very properly. You have to prepare as good as possible, so you have the experience to improve your public speaking skills. And we are going to talk about public speaking preparation and practice. Like I said before, any single activities in the world needs preparation and practice. It's not only public speaking. But why it is important for public speaking, it's because you are in front of lots of people. Remember that one of the anxiety is coming from you are being fear to address by the mistake that you made, right? So by doing some preparation and practice, you are minimalizing the potency of making mistakes. But then when you did some mistake, just go with the flow. People are not perfect, right? So only the prepared speaker deserve to be confident. It's the matter of confidence. Practice make perfect, but there is no such a perfect thing in the world. But at least you are improved. You do some improvements. You build your confidence very, convince people. And this is very important for you if you want to be very confident. Najwa Shihab, I know that, I believe that lots of you have already know her, right? She's growing from the journalist to the CEO of Narasi TV. And, his style to introduce or opening when she conduct the Mata Najwa, right? She always started, not always started. At some points, she do some conclusion by making a poem with a very, very beautiful rhyme, if you hear. And it's related to the issue that she's just discussed with the speakers. And it gives us something that, okay, you can learn from Najwa Shihab, how she prepare, how she practice. And in some interview, I remember Miss Najwa Shihab said that she has the research team before she conduct discussion of Mata Najwa, right? It means that she prepared very well. And what about the practice? She has already faced lots of characteristic of speakers, right? So by talking with them, by maybe in during the camera off, she talked with the speakers. It kinds of practice. So a great people such as Najwa Shihab, Bung Karno, they are not forgetting what so-called preparation and practice, because it makes them more confident, right? So how you can start, or you can build the confidence? This is what I learned with, if you want to know, I'm part of the Think Policy team. Actually, the Think Policy is one of, actually it's a discussion hub about the public policy analysts. So some of us are concerned about what is our government implement in terms of public policy. And sometimes we are discussing about how to make the policymakers understand what is happening in our society. So sometimes we are invited, whether I'm representing the Think Policy groups or whether I'm presenting the Pertamina groups, we are invited to a focus group discussion. The last time the focus discussion FGD that I attend, I was representing Pertamina groups, and it's related to whether Indonesia have to import gas from Russia with a third party or not. So I start my presentation with this Holy Trinity. I'm sorry, I don't want to, I don't have specific term about this, but actually this is the triangle that can be used for you to build the narrative when you are trying to explain the policymakers, in my case, right? So it's the story of self, story of us, and then the last one is story of now. What does it mean? The first one is the story of self and how you can connect it to the story of us. This is basically related when you are trying to be the speaker of an event, right? So when there is something like what I said before, I used to be like this, like this, like this. And I believe that you have the same problem with me, right? I still remember how the story of self and how the story of us can change the world, especially in the America. Barack Obama is the first Black people president in the US. And I still remember the way he did his campaign. The line that I clearly remember is, I grow up in this America, but I think America needs improvement. I am part of this big America. And if we work together, we can make America become a great nation. And it's continued by the Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump said that make America great again, something like that. But Obama said like that. Okay, you said that America needs improvement. I also feel it because I used to be no one. I grow from my childhood, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And it is connected to the story of the whole America. That's why he gets sympathy from the audiences. And the important thing is you are not selfish by capturing your part of story, because it is the part of the community story. And then you have to relate it of the story of now, how it is connected to the situation that you are facing right now. That's why you can have that's why you can have the attention of the audience. So start your public speaking with storytelling. Sometimes I just know that when we are talking about the stand-up comedians, sometimes, right? We used to invite one of stand-up comedian. I forgot the name, but when I talk with him on the backstage, I asked him, is that what you told us in your narrative? It is what you experience in actual life. Sometimes they don't experience it, but he knows how to capture what's the recent situation, and he connects it with whether it is the story of their college or the story of their best friends and so on and so forth. But it's part of the story of the self. So when it is connected, the people feel like, oh, okay, they feel related to it. That's why you get the attention. That's how Barack Obama could be the president of America, right? So the story of self, the story of us, and the story of now is connected to each other. It makes a beautiful story that you can get attention from your audiences. Then we can go to how to set your mind. In this case, when you are trying to prepare a material or narrative, or you are trying to explain something that maybe it's beyond your knowledge, you have to set your mind. Give up the belief that you must be perfect. None of us are, right? So I told you maybe I made several mistakes from the time I started speaking. But the important thing is actually how I can communicate with you, how I can communicate my ideas, and how I can share with you, and you get something from me, right? Remind yourself that your audience has flaws just like you. We are not perfect. I'm still learning, you are still learning, so we are learning together. And assume your audience is friendly. They are interested in what you have to say and they love you. Even though this is just an assumption, it will, give your a suggestion that, okay, they will listen to me. It makes you more comfortable with yourself right now. Remind yourself that when you speak in public, nothing bad can happen. It's also forms of affirmation that everything's gonna be okay. I mean, maybe some of you have already watched the Three Idiots film. It's one from India, and the very highlighting lines from them is all is well, all is well, all is well. Everything's gonna be okay. So what happened in front of the stage is it is what happening. When you finish, just forget it, or maybe you can evaluate what your performance on the stage. So visualize a successful presentation. So in setting your mind, you are believing that everything can go with the flow without any mistakes, right? Quiet your mind, breathe deeply, loud, and smile, because it will reduce your anxiety constantly. The second one is well prepared. A powerful presenter will set the objective. That's why I told you the first one after my introduction. I told you what is our agenda. The first one is what is public speaking, the problem about public speaking, and how to prepare the public speaking. That's our agenda. I know the audience. I know that you are part of this event. Familiar with the venue and environment, especially when this is an offline occasions, right? So it's better for you to check out or looking for the specific spot that you are comfortable to be standing and so on and so forth. Because it matters when you are in front of the public. Or maybe if you just have one podium, you can say that, okay, I will be comfortable if I move somewhere and I have interaction with the audience. It's okay. So that's why people tend to come earlier before the occasion is started, because they have to spot, okay, maybe the audience or the board of directors will sit in front of me, and then the next of the board director is the leaders of the university and so on and so forth. So you can set your blockings when it is the offline occasions. Prepare your technology. It is, I don't know, maybe you are more familiar with more technology right now, right? Such as Prezi or Canva and so on and so forth. In this case, I would like to say that when you are knowing such technology, use it wisely, use it carefully, and take advantage for that kind of technology. Sometimes your technology may help you to visualize your way of communication. That's how you can get the people's attention, especially when they learn or they pay attention based on visual, right? So when we are talking about getting knowledge or learning, I believe that you are more familiar than me. There are three, I don't know how to say, methods or characteristic. The first one is based on what you see, it's visual. The second one is auditory, so people will hear you and they understand what you know. And the second one is what's called when they're moving. Not auditory, something like that. I mean, they will get they will know or understand where they're moving. Something like that. So this kind of technology will help you to make your presentation more visualized, right? Look the best and in a proper way. Prepare your dress, right? So this is not, okay, it's just a student. No, make yourself as confident as possible, because your look will reflect your confidence. When you are very well dressed, you can be more confident and get some rest. When you have, okay, tomorrow morning I have to speak like this at 10 a.m. and then the audience like this, but just get some rest. If you need help, you can drink some tea or maybe listening to a very calm music, or do whatever that makes yourself comfortable. Because when you are comfortable, when you are feel calm, you will give your best performance, right? So you can be your own self. That's how we can prepare a powerful presentation. And then developing a script. This is very important, because I used to be like this when I was in graduate school, especially when I have to speak in English. I don't know what to say, because every point needs to be related one to another. And I used to develop a script. I believe some of you have already done it, right? So you just write everything and you make practice from the script. This is what I actually do, even until now, right? When I have to present about something that is beyond my knowledge and so on and so forth. So I try to choose what is main point, what is my main points? I mean here, set the objective, like I said before, and I choose very carefully about my supporting informations. I don't want to make my information too much, but it is enough to make them understand what I'm saying. So I have to, by choosing the main points and also supporting information, I have to link it, right? I have to make connection in every point so it can give us a more comprehensive information to the audience. Developing an opening, this is usually when you are trying to get attention because you are from the training and education science, right? You have to get attention from the students. That's why maybe you can go with the greetings, you can go with the punchline, and so on and so forth. Developing a conclusion, that is very strong conclusion. Like I said before, Madam Najwa Shihab, she always closed her discussion with a strong poem, with a very specific rhyme that is, it's easier for us to understand. And you have to review your presentation. That's what I say about evaluating. You can ask your best friend, you can ask your colleague, how do I perform? How did it shown? And so on and so forth. And anticipate a question and prepare answers. This is why I have several experience about things that I don't really know. It's not because I don't do research, but it's more like it's beyond my expertise. For example, when I do a presentation to the board of directors in Pertamina, they ask me a very specific things that is beyond my major. I'm from international relations, so I tend to explain about the global politics recently. But they asking what stage in Indonesia right now is in what stage of technology? Is it initiative? Or is it developed, or so on and so forth? I didn't do research about that because I tend to explain about the global energy politics. So what I say to the audience is there is several ways to say about it, but at that time I just say what I know about this kind of situation. So I just say to them, well, actually, I cannot say it is a very stigma, it become a stigma for us. At some points, there are people who have a very advanced knowledge and also has a very, who already become the expertise, and it helps our technology. So at some cities or towns in Indonesia, they are very high technology. But there is a gap about the stage of technology in Indonesia. We cannot make them similar. That's how I can answer to your question, sir. In this case, what I want to say to you is, if you don't understand what the answer is, it is not a shame if you admit that you don't know. At that time, I don't really know, but I know just a little bit. So I just say to him what I know. But if you don't really know about that, you can say like this: I'm sorry, sir or madam. Well, actually, I can explain it very carefully, but I'm afraid I do not have enough, or I don't have any specific knowledge about this. Maybe if we can talk later, or maybe if we have further discussion about this, I will try to do some research to make my answer convinced to you, and also based on what is happening in our society. You can say like that. So it is also related when my students defend their thesis and they doesn't and they don't know the answer, because sometimes the panelists ask about something that is outside the topic, right? So they usually try to limit the research. I mean, when it is beyond the topic, they tend to say, "I'm sorry, madam. I'm sorry, sir. This is actually not related to our to my topics of research. Maybe if you are please, I can say that it is like this, like this, like this. So it is okay if you don't know. You don't have to know everything in this world, but you know what you say. Remember, a good presenter, a strong presenter is knowing what is he's saying or she's saying. You don't have to tell everything that you know. You just need to know what you're saying. So I hope you can feel the difference. In bahasa, I can say that Anda harus mengetahui apa yang Anda katakan, dan Anda tidak perlu mengatakan semua yang Anda ketahui. That's all. So be master on what you're saying, because that's how you can be responsible of what you're saying, right? And try to present it well. Make an emotional connection with the audience. That's why I pick up the lines when I started the presentation. I show several movies that have related to our occasions today. It shows that lots of people have different challenge to do public speaking, right? Whether it is, it is genetic, whether it is because of the situations, and so on and so forth. So show that you can get the attention from the audience, and they will reciprocate. They will do, you will get the same emotion when you can get the attention from the audience, right? Maintain a steady eye contact. That's why I always look at the camera. Maybe this is different. This will be a different situation where I face you in offline situations, right? Make the steady eye contact to the audience throughout the talk. You can just sometimes look at the presentation in offline occasion, right? In offline event, you can sometimes look at your script, or you can sometimes read your presentation, but don't read too much, right? It means that you don't understand what will you say in front of them. And also, speaking with genuine feeling. Don't feel so hard. Don't feel so don't feel so being pressured at that time. Just go with the flow. I mean, when you speak, just try to make everyone is a good partner, discussion partner for you. And practice the presentation so well that you don't need a script. At some points, right, we still need the script. That's why I suggest you to develop your script very well before. But when you do regular practice before the events, you can improve your speaking. You can improve the topic that you're saying. Like I do right now, I just do some presentation in some points, but I can improve. I can make improvisation to add some examples that you can relate. Oh, okay, there is Barack Obama. There is Najwa Shihab. There is some of my experiences that you can learn from me, something like that. So you can do improvisation to get the attention from the audience. And with the script, it actually, you can try, or you can practice your tone of speaking. There is several difference, right? When you becoming the master of ceremony, you have to do a deep voice, right? Say, like, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a different tone. You don't have to be the, dubber. You don't have to learn from the dubber, but you know the occasion. You can learn how to maintain your tone during the speaking time. Okay, last but not least, show them your humanity. It's actually when you speak in front of them, it doesn't mean that you are different from them. No, you are part of them. That's why I said to you, this is the way I'm learning. You are still learning too. So we can learn together, right? So be yourself, but also try to fit in with the members of the audience as much as possible. That's why I said before, I used to be a student like you. And I also have this kind of experience when I was in graduate school, right? Speak to the audience level of knowledge. In this case, it is important not to be undermining some people, but to know we have to talk in the same language. What I experienced is when I try to talk in front of the board of directors in Pertamina Persero, it's totally different to with how I talk to my students in Pertamina University. Because when I try too much to talk in formal language, my student doesn't get my points, right? So it is important to you to speak the same level of language. It doesn't mean that my language is undermining some groups, no, but it's more to get attached to them easily, right? Self-references they recognize and respect. That's why I brought the story of Tan Malaka and also Bung Karno. They're the people that you know very well, right? It is related to our nation's independence. Express the feelings you share with them, such as, oh, I'm very excited to have discussion with you. I'm very excited to be standing in front of you all to share my knowledge, to share my research result, and so on and so forth. And if you're announcing unwelcome news, express your empathy with the audience. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe, yes, just be human, right? We are part of them. Remember the triangle that I said to you before, it's the story of self, story of now, and the story of the community. It makes you as the part of the society. So show your understand up to date with the details. This is what I said before. You do preparation. That's why you need to do some background research, right? And if there's an opposing view of viewpoint, show the audience you understand. There is no such obligation that people have to be at the same viewpoint with you. For example, when I said, oh, you have to develop your script, some people with a given characteristic to have the public speaking skills, they will say, no, I don't need that kind of script. I can improve myself, do some improvisation and do, building a story that can easily attach the audience attention, right? There's opposing, that is an opposing a few points. But in this case, what I'm saying is, okay, everyone has their own viewpoints. But I believe that our different viewpoints or our different perspective can build us become a better person in do public speakings and so on and so forth, right? So if there's an opposing viewpoint in a forum, you don't have to be afraid of it, right? So you don't have to against them. You don't have to be very angry that they're not on the same page with you. But okay, I understand that you have a different point of view, right? Because we see 6 and 9 from different side, it will be different. So it's okay as long as you know what you're saying, supported with the supporting information that is valid, right, and reliable, of course. So when there is someone, in this case, I'm taking the situation when you are on the focus group discussion and you try to express your argument. When there is someone who wants to debate you or against your perspective and also your arguments, you have to just stay calm. Don't be panic. Everything can be happening at that situations, right? So understand their points of view. Okay, this person is addressing this, and this. At some points, I can agree with these points, but I don't really understand about the third or fourth point, so I just let him be. That's okay, right? So you can just you can respond to them very calm. And it shows who you are, your characteristic, how strong your characteristic when you are facing those kind of people who change you, right? So don't forget to present with the energy, walking strong, especially in offline situation, right? Underscore important points. Okay, you have to underscore, you have to pay attention to this, and so on and so forth. Make a punchline and keep reading the audience. So I'm with this situation, I'm reading the participant is from 130 and now become 117, but it's the dynamics of the public speaking situation events, I mean. So in this case, I can understand that, okay, maybe I present too long. Maybe I need to cut off my time and so on and so forth. That's why when you keep reading the audience, you can make yourself very compact and you can get them attention, right? Okay, so maybe I can just say that you can do everything by practice and also very well preparations. But do not forget that you have to analyze too what is your audience is happening, right? It is feeling. I mean, in this case, I clearly remember the ABC formulation. What is ABC formulation? Audience before content. So if you have lots of things is happening to you, you have lots of experience, which is related to lots of contents, it doesn't matter when you don't know the audience. So know your audience first until and pick the specific content that is related to them. So that's the ABC points, audience before content, right? Okay, so practice make perfect, like I say before. So if you do some practices, do not forget to involve your friends or your colleagues or maybe your lecturers, so you can get comments and also constructive suggestions, and you can improve it every time you are trying to improve your public speaking skills, right? So don't practice by yourself, because you maybe you can do a self-evaluation, but it will be more valuable if you involve some people. So some people will help you to improve your skills. And so that's all my presentation. I think I took so much time to explain. You can reach me out if you want to have a further discussion, not only about the public speaking skills, but also I welcome you to talk about anything that is happening. I also talk about everything with my colleagues, whether it's about the recent K-pop, Blackpink concert to the latest information. I talk a lot. So if you want to reach me, please through the email or also Instagram or also my link in my social media, of course. So that's all for me. I hope I can share something and you get valuable information from me. I hope also we can learn together, and maybe we can expand our knowledge and our experience in public speaking events. That's all. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I apologize for any, unexpected mistake. I give it back to Miss Hannah and Miss Deborah. Maybe I can stop my share screen.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today, Mrs. Novita. So, Devi, what you got from our seminar today?
I learned a lot, Anya. And I'm sure all of us here also got a new knowledge from Mrs. Navita, and how to deal with our anxiety, how to have a good public speaking, and much more.
Yes, Devi, you're right. And also, we are grateful for your contribution, and thank you for making this seminar success.
And now we will do our question and answer section. We give a chance to 2% of our audience to give a question.
You can just write on the chat, or you can raise your hand.
Okay, Marisa, it's your turn.
Sorry, Marisa, can you just write it on the chat? Thank you. Okay, so we have our first question here. I will read it. I have a question. You can mention my name. It's from Albert Sinaga. Thank you, Albert Sinaga. My question is, can you give me the tips for public speaking if I was an introvert?
Sorry, who's the name again? What's the name again?
Can you give me the tips for public speaking if I was an introvert?
Yeah. The name, Albert Sinaga. Who is it?
Yes, ma'am, from Albert Sinaga.
Albert Sinaga. Okay, hello, Albert. It's really nice to know you today. When you are introvert, what should you do to when you have public speaking skills? Well, actually, I'm a bit grateful here because I'm an ambivert. So there is sometimes I also, when my introvert side is coming out, but I have to do I have to present in some public speaking events. So what I try to do is saving my energy first, of course. So what I told you before, get some rest, because as the introvert, when my introvert side is coming out, it's actually important to me to get some rest, or do something that make me comfortable, because doing presentation in front of the people when you are not comfortable is very dangerous for you, right? So I'm saving my energy, and when I go out from my cave, I can feel energized. So the important thing is I can do some preparation more when I get some rest. It's the ideal situations, right? So you can prepare something, you can do some research and maybe practice if it is possible. But there is a not ideal situation in which, when you are very tired, when your social energy is low, you are exhausted. I have experience about that. Your social energy is very low because you are very exhausted. You have meetings from Monday to Friday, and then you have to attend another seminar in Saturday, for example. What I did at that time is I tried to do a quick meditation, right? This kind, I don't know, maybe you can do several things that make you comfortable, but I do quick meditation, listening to a calm music. So I get more energy to socialize again, right? And in this case, if you have a very specific time to prepare yourself, at least you have to prepare what you should say. What I'm saying is actually, then again, go to the preparation. You can do a quick research about what the topic that you're gonna talk, and then you can speak a very compact, and also you can talk to them in a very, I'm not saying a simple ways, but it's kind of, you can make yourself clear, but by making your speech very compact, right? That's the first one. And the second one, I cannot say that we have to, follow our situation, but you have to deal with it. There is sometimes when I was very exhausted, my social energy is low, but I have to attend 3-hour seminars. I have to keep smiling, right? It made me more exhausted, but there is something that I should do because that's part of my job. So what I'm saying is actually when you do a public speaking and so on and so forth, when it's part of your responsibility, do it very well, right? You can save maybe you can give yourself a reward after you do this kind of public speaking events. For example, like this, right? I become the speaker after I have meeting, like from Monday to Friday, I have meetings. On Saturday, I try to get some rest. And after this, I will go to Lotte Mart, or I will go to Gandaria City to buy me some things that I really want to buy. So I have a reward for myself that you can do this. So it will makes you like, it's not always buying something, right? Because it's related to your money. But actually, when you do a self-reward after you attend this kind of public event, you will be you will feel like you are appreciated yourself, right? So there is something that you have to deal. There is something that you have to, to hold on for a little bit, but you can do something that makes you comfortable later, right? So if there is something, events or maybe some occasion that you can delegate as an introvert person, you can delegate to someone. But if it is the event is that you have to attend the event by yourself, just hold on for a little bit. If you don't have much time to prepare, right? Just hold on a little bit, give yourself a reward so you can feel yourself comfortable, even though you are introvert. So that's my tips. Actually, that's what works on me when I do when my introvert side's coming out. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have question from Marisa. I will read the question. We all know that body language is important in public speaking. So, how can I improve my body language and nonverbal communication skills when giving a public speech?
Okay, so how can I improve my body language and nonverbal communication skills when giving a public speech? From my experience, I can say it's more like a practice. So if it is the very first time you do public speaking, maybe you are invited as a speaker or as a moderator for a specific talk show or something like that, you can maybe, the schedule must be set, right? It is next week or maybe next month and so on and so forth. And I believe that the event is prepared very well. So take some time. If it is your first performance or first experience, just watch some people that you adore. For example, myself, I adore I adore Madam Najah Shihab. That's why I try to watch how they conduct the discussion, how she conduct the discussion, and maybe if it is related to the speech, I watch motivational speakers. I don't know, maybe at some points Kobe Bryant is a very influential speaker. I heard him when in several occasions he gave motivational speech to the college, and in this case I watch how these kind of people can try to speak in their body. So it is maybe with the smile, it is maybe with the expression of the face on faces and so on and so forth. So if it is your first experience, try to do lots of research how people conduct their discussion or how people speech in front of the publics, right? But if it is your you have already had the several experiences. If you want to improve, please involve your trusted ones. Either it is your best friend, it is your lecturer, or someone that you trust, that you can believe in their constructive suggestion. Ask for evaluation. How did I perform before? What I need to improve? What is missing for me? And do you think it is appropriate enough? They will evaluate you. But please make yourself clear that it is a suggestion. It is evaluation, not a judgment, right? So you can be very open to receive any comments that will be beneficial for your improvement on the future. So there is two different things that you can learn, right? When it is your very first, you can learn from other people in your research time and your preparation time, but it is when you have already had several experience, ask for evaluation. That's how you can improve to the people when you do or when you attend another public speaking event in the near future. That's from me. Thank you. Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Wow, Devi, it seems a lot of people in here are curious about public speaking, but unfortunately, our time is limited. Oh, I'm so sad. So we're just going to read one more question from
Gabriela Sirai. All right, I will read the question. Good morning. I want to ask, for example, we have mastered the material or presentation that we bring before appearing in front of people. But after appearing in front of people, I forgot what I was going to say because I was nervous and so many people were watching. So what is the way or solution to overcome this? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gabriela. Yes, right? Yeah, thank you very much for the question, Gabriela. It is very nice questions, right? Because I also experience it, where I have very confident about what I'm going to say in front of the board of directors, but it turns out lots of people attending the meetings, and oh my God, I have to face them right now. Okay, so I just the material that I have prepared in every day just like going away. So this is actually what I said before in my presentation. Use the technology wisely, because when you are when you have already put some points in your presentation and you have the script to how to link between the points that you want to say in front of them, it will help you to remember. That's why maybe in this case, visualization is very important, right? Recently. So it's not only to help people understand what you're saying, but also to make you remember what are you going to say in front of them. So by looking at the points, oh, okay, at least I have to say about this, and this. Like actually, I have extra experience when I have to present in front of the board of directors of Pertamina. It's about the Greater Sunrise sites in in the south of Timor-Leste near Australia, because that's the area of conflict between Australia, Indonesia, and Timor-Leste. It's the three parties, the three countries are trying to get the resources in the Greater Sunrise sites. So actually, that's not my specifications because it's the Asia Pacific. Right. So my kind of focus area is Southeast Asia. So when it comes to South Asia Pacific, I have to learn more. And at that time, they asked a specific question that's actually I have already prepared about it, but I forgot. So I come back to my presentation. I going back to my presentation and I reread again what I wrote in my presentations, and it helps me. So actually, in this case, the first one is prepare your points very clearly. You can have the script in your hands, so it will help you. Okay, I will say this and this and this. And the second one, practice, right? So even though it is not a full a practice of occasion, maybe you can practice after this, I will say this. After this, I will say this. The connection between this point and this point is this. So when you believe me, that's why some people are trying to practice before they goes to sleep, right? Before they go to sleep, people are practicing. So I believe that it will help you to memorize what you're trying to say in front of the people. Not any single detail of the words, but actually it's the whole points that you want to deliver to your audience. Right, so use the technology wisely, and the second one, practice with your script. You can bring your script to the stage, but don't make it too too obvious in front of the people, right? But you can make it just bring it to make yourself comfortable and more confident to deliver your points of view. That's my answer, Gabriela. Hope it helps.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And for those who are still curious, please ask privately via social media, which will be included in that chat column.
Okay, so now we will give the certificate and thank you remarks for Ibu Novita Putri Rudiani by Mem Deborah Simanjuntak and Winda Natalia.
Okay, should I start now? Okay. Ms. Novita, once again, thank you so much for sharing your expertise to us. I sense that you managed to give us different perspective of public speaking. Yeah. And we also could sense that your passion in global communication. So I have takeaways on your presentation that I would like to share with all of you here, that when we speak, we need to build trust to our audience, and we need to become prepared speaker, because by being prepared speaker, we are going to be confident. And we have to make sure that when we speak, we make our audience as our partners. And the best way is to apply the triangle, yeah, the golden triangle, show the story of self, the story of now, and the story of us. So it's a very wonderful message that you have shared to all of us here. So once again, thank you so much. So therefore, we would like to give you a certificate of appreciation as our keynote speaker at our recent event. So could you please play could you please show the certificate? Okay, can you pause for a while? Pause. Boleh di pause? Show the certificate, please. Yeah, okay, let me read. Certificate of appreciation. The certificate is presented to Ms. Novita Putri Rudiani for sharing valuable knowledge as a keynote speaker during our public speaking webinar on March 19 with the theme, Explore Your Communication Skills Through Public Speaking. So once again, Ms. Novita, thank you so much for the time. We hope that we have, in the near future, we hope that we have opportunity to work together again, to meet you personally. We meet virtually, but in the near future that we can meet with you personally. So once again, thank you. We pray for everything that you've planned in your future, for your endeavors, So that may God bless you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ms. Deborah. Pleasure.
And now we will hear the thanks remark by Winda Natalia.
All right, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the public speaking student, I would like to say thank you very much to Ms. Navita Putri Rudiani for the great talk on how to enhance, on how to hone our public speaking skills. Most of the credits goes to you who have volunteered your time and accepted our invitation and are willing to become a keynote speaker for this great webinar. I can tell this public speaking seminar is very important in educational life and for us in the future. And therefore, I do believe that all of us here were intrigued with your comments. And also, I'm optimistic so that everyone here can apply the tips and the tricks that you have shared to us. Once again, thank you very much. I would also like to appreciate all the audiences who have set aside their activity and joined this webinar, especially for the students from SLA PTASN who also have attended this program. We value your attention, and because without you, all the audiences, this program will not go smoothly. And last but not least, I truly appreciate to all of my classmates for the hard work and especially for our course lecturer for the support and for encouraging us to work extra miles. This is not the end of our journey, mates. So hang in there. I believe we all can face and we can enjoy the learning process of studying. So that's all that I can say. I hope everyone here can have a great day. Morning.
So, thank you to all the participants that attend our seminar today. We are sorry if there are any things that are not loud in your heart. Also, once again, thank you to Ms. Novita Putri Rudiani, and we will end our webinar. And before that, we will close our seminar and we invite Elizabeth to pray.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, thank you for the blessing and the opportunities that you give to us today. God, we just finished our webinar today. Please bless each one of us, especially our speaker. Let what has been explained by our speaker be useful for each one of us. We leave the rest of our day in your hands. Forgive our sin. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you. This is the end of our seminar. But before we leave our Zoom, we will do a photo section. And please, all of you in here, open your cam, and Daniela, please screenshot each section.
I will take the screenshot. Please open your cam, everyone. There are 4 slides. I will start from first slide.
Marisha.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's already taken. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Novita.
Thank
for
you, Miss Deborah. Thank you, everyone. It's very nice to meet you.
Bye.
regards your family.
Yeah, you too. Regards your family. Hope we can meet personally in the near future, right?
Yeah. If you visit Bandung, please come to our campus, okay? See our
Right.
campus.
Okay, see you
everyone. Thank
everyone.
you. Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank you,
Sunday.
Miss.